Hey guys, Illy here, and this time we're going to watch not one but two battles in Malinovka from each of the bases. We're going to have some tactical analysis and we're going to see some interesting positions and why and when and how to use them. So we're starting with the southern base, and I rush into the field hoping to prevent Sheridan from taking the bush at the edge of the field. That was really strange of Sheridan to go out just in the field, because, you know, it's so huge, and like I would say that 9 out of 10 he would have got himself killed by this time already. That's not something you should do in Sheridan. Alright, I don't know how he survives because our team can actually see him, but I decided to track STRV to help my teammates kill it, and it seems like it worked. You know, sometimes tracking enemy gives you, well, your team, just an extra second because, you know, the guy has a repair kit, but sometimes this 1 extra second or even half a second is actually enough for your teammates. I think this is just what happened there. I stopped that guy just for a second and the guns were all ready and they fired and they didn't miss. Then I saw an opportunity to use this position. It's not universal, it's not really good for all lights. For example, American lights are a bit too huge, and you know, this position doesn't work if there are like 3 RTs per team, maybe 2 RTs as well, because artillery likes to strike in here, and you know, this position is very close to the enemy base, so you will be spotted most of the time and RT will give you a hard time. But since there is no artillery, I can be free to use that position, plus I'm also pretty low, which is another 4 argument. Ow! Well, that was a painful one. So I used this position for a moment. I decided to use all the guns that I have at my disposal, so to say, at the base. So I didn't rush in the beginning of the battle, not to force camping, you know, but I saw that some of our guns actually stayed at the base, that it would be pity not to use that position, you know, especially because enemy light is not making me any trouble there. So I feel like I have used up the potential of that area. Nobody else will expose themselves there, so then it's time to relocate. I don't really want to jump down there in the front, you know, to that bump, because I think it's too early and I'm not sure I will be supported there, because, you know, there is some big fight going on at the path, you know, near the hill there. A few enemy tanks there, so it's a bit too early to dive to the front. So I'll just wait a bit here. I'll try to spot someone at the bump to the left from me, because if you drive up onto this little hill, you can sometimes spot someone there, but I can't really see anyone this time there, and nor do I get spotted, which is strange because I'm pretty close to the enemy tanks. So now I decided it's time to move in, because my team, you know, it's already finishing off the enemies here and they're ready to move forward, so I have to be the first. I have to give them spotting, you know. I really want to make my team able to deal damage from all those 550 meters or so. Oh, that was very bad move from me, even like the killing that Super Conqueror, because I really exposed myself too much. I drove up too much there, and I was lucky to bounce that one, even though it wasn't really important, like I would have survived anyway, but it could be someone else. It could be Jagdpanzer E100 as well, so that was a really bad move from my side. Finishing off Ice 4, I don't know how I panned that guy. Oh, I think that's a ping issue. Yeah, right. And the team is getting closer and closer, and I feel it's just about time I moved in. Sheridan is still there. That's a big surprise to me. I'm wondering if he spent there the whole battle, because it was really strange. I really think he did just that. Anyway, it's time to move in. I really want to sit in these bushes. I jump here, and I think it's Sheridan who spotted me. Yeah, well, there is nobody else who could do that, obviously. So I jump to the safest place here. It's down here, because if you go to the bottom, it's very often the safest place. Not always, but in this case it is, because, you know, there is simply nobody who can depress gun on me down there. So I keep going on the front line, spotting everyone around, and, well, there is actually nothing interesting that's going to happen in this battle. So let's just look at the minimap and let's run this battle once again quickly, looking at the minimap and how I was moving along with my team. So my first goal is to block enemy lights to prevent enemy lights from taking the comfortable positions either in the middle of the field or on the edge of the other field without exposing myself too much, of course. So while my team is spreading, going up to the hill, we have a few guns at our base which are all ready to shoot, so I decided to use this opportunity and take the position in the middle of the field to cover the marked area. The main danger in this position comes from the TVP's position and of course from artillery, but in this case there weren't really too many enemies which were a threat to me, so I stayed there for some time, but of course when I felt that this position is not useful anymore, I left it immediately. So here I'm not moving in right away, I'm giving some control over the area where enemy light could be, that's the edge of the field, because if Sheridan's there, well, there is a good chance that I'll see him. Maybe not, maybe he's deep in the bush, but there is a good chance. I also give some control over the bump, where some tanks could be. Again, in this case there was nobody, or I couldn't see anyone. And I'm also giving some spotting, which is not really needed in this case, to the path which leads up the hill, but our team is already pressing there, so they don't need my assistance. So I'm not moving any further because at the moment there is just nobody who will be able to deal damage if I spot someone at the enemy base, so I must wait a little bit. So now I move in and I see just that my team is finishing off whoever of the enemy team was going up the hill. They have like 1 or 2 lost enemies there. So now I'm giving spotting on the, well, on the orange area here. And you know, it's just the area which is in front of my team, so they will be able to shoot whoever is there. Finally, they are close enough. So then it means it's the right moment to go in there and just show them enemies right at 500 meters so that they don't have to get any closer to see them, so that they can shoot from safety, so that the enemy team won't see anyone except for me, maybe not even me, if I manage to stay invisible. And now we just have all the guns of our team ready to shoot, and well, the last place where all enemies can be, so we just rush in, well, still trying to stay alive, but it's not really important anymore. The battle is over, the enemy team is just collapsing. So now we're playing from the northern base in Panzerwagen, and we're going to start with, well, blocking the enemy lights as well. Since Panzerwagen has a lot of view range, mine is like 530, I think. It's enough actually to sit in this bush for a while because you spot other light tanks from very far away. And relatively low camera rating of Panzerwagen will make it a pretty risky thing if I just go forward and rush at the enemy lights to spot them. So it's better to play it safely, but if you don't have such a great view range, if you have like 380 base view range, 390, maybe you could go a bit further. At least if your tank is not really large, But in this case it was enough for me, so we eliminated one light tank of the enemy team. The other light is already going to the middle, I mean the light of the enemy team, that's the Sheridan. And there it is, it's already falling there, which is quite a mistake, I would say. I mean, tactically it's a mistake. So he will be quite useless there for some time. And we are already, we seem to be finishing off the MX-1390. Well, not really me, our team is. So this will give a good opportunity to get closer to the enemy base and actually take a very important position there. So our team is spreading across the map, even though like we have a medium and a heavy near artillery, which is very strange. We still have enough forces spread across the map, and there we go. This is why this position is very good. It gives a very good vision on the sniping hill of the other team. And if you eliminate that hill, you know, you keep it under control, you keep it under fire, you don't let anyone stand on it, then, well, the enemy team loses, well, pretty much a key point. It's a very important position for the other team to deal damage from, so it's immediately minus a position. And there is just nothing similar the enemy team can have. I mean, this position has no alternatives for the enemy team. So at this moment, the threat is if someone is just in the barns to the right from me, but I'm closing myself with the bushes, and, well, if someone is in the bushes in front of me there, because I will not be able to see them at all, and I think I'm making a mistake here by approaching these bushes from the right, because that's where enemy tanks could be. Yeah, exactly, the sixth sense goes off. That was someone to the right from me, and now I have to dive forward because it's the only safe place in here. It's lower ground, and, well, nobody should be able to hit me here. The landscape will cover me, except for the one tiny bot. Lovely. So, yeah, that was a mistake from me. You see the Udis down there on the minimap? Well, that was that Udis who spotted me. I should have approached those bushes from the left. Because, well, I have already scanned the sniping hill and there was just nobody there, so I could approach it from the left safely. Anyway, two crazy lights attacking me. I don't know, it's clearly a suicide, and, well, I have to ram this one, and the other one is not attacking me but sitting onto that hill. I don't know what's going on. Those are just, well, like, both of them did something very stupid. They could kill me, but they would have died with, well, a few shots of damage each, you know. Bad Chat unloading 2 or 3 shots at me, and Wheezy unloading 1 shot, and then I'm dead. And then they are dead. I mean, why would they do that? If they could just stay a bit back, play a bit more carefully, and just make not 3 but 5 shots in the end of the battle. Because it's already lost. It's already tactically lost again. Because we were allowed to approach the enemy base. So now just finishing off some enemies, and again, a ping lag. At the very right moment, E100 with the mouse gun. Sit there, so that he won't be able to wiggle, you know, and bounce any shots at all. I'm loading standard rounds finally. Stay there with your side to our team, and, well, the battle is pretty much over too. So let's look at this battle in terms of minimap and in terms of tactics again. So again, our first goal is to eliminate threats coming from the enemy lights, preferably killing enemy lights or at least driving them away so that we can operate freely, so that we can relocate and help whoever needs assistance. Now I'm controlling the enemy's sniping hill, and it can be shot from, well, all those marked green locations, you know, sometimes. But we have enough tanks in there to destroy those 2 Panther 8.8 very quickly. So this is where I made a mistake. I should have approached those bushes from the left, because there are greater chances that some enemy is hiding in the bushes to the right from me, and, well, I'm trying to spot that area, but, you know, it's really 50-50 whether you're going to see enemy or not. So in this case it didn't work, and, well, I'm just spotting for those guys behind me, so make sure you have someone who is going to shoot on your spotting, you know, otherwise you will risk for nothing really. So we are at the final key point of the map when you are already finishing off the enemies, or you want just to keep pressing the enemy team if you went through the other flank. This position also works if you go through the middle of the map from the hill flank. So this position allows you to spot to try to spot the enemy forest, so to say, because you know there are bushes, the landscape partially hides it, but you will be able to see many enemies from there. And here I just have a good fire support behind me. And you'll be pretty safe there unless some two crazy lights attack you, of course. And the battle is over. Of course, these battles weren't a general recipe of Malinovka, but this was all about the minimap, about looking at the minimap, then making these kind of decisions, and then selecting where you go. If you go left or you go right, and why, and who's going to shoot, and so on and so forth. I hope this video was helpful for you, and see you soon, guys.